So let's get into this Denver Nuggets game. All right. They got a 2-point win over the Clippers. Did they go into overtime? I think they did go into overtime. The Clippers gave that game away. Right. Let me see if I can pull this game up. They did go into overtime for sure. So the Clippers gave that game away. They controlled the game. They had the lead pretty much the whole game. Probably 40 minutes of the 48 minutes. They had the lead in regulation, and they gave it away. They turned the ball over. They didn't execute down the stretch. They gave up some wide open threes. One of them to Westbrook, which was a backbreaker. And they just didn't handle the physicality that Denver came out with. They caught the timeout. Clippers went on a run, looked like it was about to pull away, and Denver called the timeout. And they came out, and you could physically see them ramp up their physicality. And from the time that they started doing that, the Clippers never. They still had the lead, but they never looked like they were getting easy baskets. It looked like Denver was getting easy shots. It looked like the Clippers were struggling for everything they got. Right. It's a lot of things I seen in that game as well. I'll let Jokic talk about some things. I'm gonna play for you some post game questions that he fielded. But before that, let me just get into some of the things I seen on paper, and then some of the things I seen watching the game. All right. So you get 32 from Harden, and you get 22 from Kawhi Leonard, and 21 from Zubac. You can't ask for more than that. They had 5 guys in double figures. That guy showed up. They just showed up early. They struggled a little bit late. They had 20 turnovers. They only forced 11 turnovers on Denver. They had 20 turnovers themselves. Not a good thing, right? James Harden got into a little bit of foul trouble, so he started going to the bench off and on. And when he went to the bench, they wasn't handling the ball too well. You know, they was getting a lot of pressure, and whoever was trying to handle the ball wasn't doing a good enough job. So you had that thing, but James Harden had some of those turnovers too. I mean, it was a big one that Jokic took coast to coast for a layup. You know, he was trying to, throw a pocket pass off a screen to Zubac, and Jokic was right there. It was like, I know that's where you're trying to go with it. So they got to clean that up, because everything that Harden was doing with Zubac off the screens was working first quarter, and some of the second quarter, then all of a sudden it wasn't working no more. So he would come off the screens, but he would always come off the screen wide, and the double will come there. He had to get the ball up, and the rotation was already there. So it was like trying to force that pass to Zubac, was a little difficult. So it was causing problems. They just wasn't getting clean possessions, right? And I'm like, dang, like attack. I would rather you attack Jokic off that screen and roll instead of taking it wide, right? So anyway, there's a lot of things that was even. 25 assists for Clippers. They got the edge by 1 over the Nuggets. Nuggets had 24. 44 rebounds. They lost the edge by 1 to the Nuggets. They had 45 rebounds. Offensive rebounds 11 to 12. Then you got the steals, and that was a big piece of it. And the 20 turnovers, that was a big piece of it, right? Another thing I seen, they kept calling Zubac the best defender of Jokic over the last 5 years. Whatever analytics or numbers they're using, Zubac guards Jokic better than any other center in the league, even Joel Embiid. What that tells me is a couple of things. One, they're matched up size wise, kind of even. Zubac's a big guy too. He's wide. They got about the same amount of athleticism. Zubac's long, probably got a longer wingspan than Jokic. And he's capable, and he puts in effort on the defense, right? And, so he don't shy away from it. You can go look at some of those post ups. It was phenomenal to watch them go at it, and they was letting him guard Jokic without the double coming. I thought that was phenomenal. So Zubac's going to be very key in this series. You want to watch how he picks up fouls or not pick up fouls. That'll tell you a lot about the game. He got a couple of cheap ones from Jokic flopping. Jokic was trying to do a lot of veteran tricks early. He went in the post with Zubac, and I think he did a quick spin move and went baseline, and then he hooked Zubac's arm and was pulling him with him, and then tried to get an N1 off of it, but the ref did a no call, and I think his foot stepped out of bounds, and they called out of bounds. He was angry with the referee because that's a veteran move that he usually gets. Like, how didn't you fall for this hook? Right? Why I'm hooking him? I'm doing a great job of hooking him, and I'm Jokic. I'm supposed to get the benefit of the doubt. How the hell are you doing a no call on it? In my opinion, it should have been a foul on Jokic. But I don't know if he was ignoring it like he didn't see it, because I know he's seen it. It was quite obvious. It had to be a foul on somebody. If Zubac wasn't holding him, then he's getting hooked because they was tangled up while he was dribbling, right? But Zubac just had his hands like this and was moving with him. And, he didn't give up on the play even though he was getting hooked. He was like, "I'm gonna move with him, but I'm gonna do this to let you know that I'm not grabbing him." Right. But that was a good no call. It would have been better if they called the offensive foul, but of course that the NBA is not in the business of putting fouls on players that the fans want to see on the floor. Right. They're just not in the business of doing that. A star player has to do a lot to pick them fouls up, especially a guy like Jokic. So what happened? The immediate play after that, Jokic pissed off he didn't get that call. Goes down the court. Zubac is in the at the top of the key, kind of in the high post position. He's probably even go catch it right there and probably do a dribble handoff, or he was gonna set a screen up there. But while the ball was getting brought up by the point guard, Jokic started arm wrestling with Zubac again, and Zubac's trying to get his arm away from him, and then Jokic grabs his arm and flops backwards and pulls Zubac's arm with him, so it looks like Zubac pushed him off. Goes to the ground. Immediately, they call a foul. He finally got him. But he had tried flopping 3 or 4 times before that without getting called. He was getting frustrated. So I think the rest was like, we got to call it because the optics of it was looking bad. We're making Jokic look bad. All this flopping he's doing, we got to give him this one. I think the reputation of Jokic got him that call. It was not an offensive foul, right? So those are that's how Zubac was picking fouls up, and you got to keep an eye on that moving forward in this series on him picking up fouls, because once he pick up a foul, there's no big man that can guard Jokic. When Zubac went to the bench, they tried to guard Jokic with Nicholas Batum. That was disastrous. They tried with Ben Simmons. That was disastrous. There's nobody. The Clipper, Ty Lue, I just don't. Well, they got Eubanks on the bench, but he don't get in the game, and he's not big enough for Jokic either. But these guys missed everybody who's in the West that's got to play Jokic in the playoffs missed the opportunity. Dwight Howard has been begging people to sign him just for defense, and nobody's going to go get him. Like, you don't lose anything. I mean, you went and got Westbrook last year. Why not go get your Dwight Howard this year? You need him for Jokic. I would sign Dwight Howard in a heartbeat just for Jokic, right? So they missed the opportunity because they don't have nobody other than Zubac. Zubac getting foul trouble. The game is. I mean, you got to be super hot from 3 or something, and Kawhi Leonard got to be on a heater as well as Harden for them to be able to sustain that without Zubac on the floor, because Jokic is gonna tear you up. He's too good. You got to have somebody that he can guard. But let's listen to Jokic talk about his teammates, because I think that's important, because so many people keep saying Jokic don't have teammates, and he's never had an all-star, so that means he needs more help, and he needs also all-star help, and these guys not good, and all this stuff. And what I like about Jokic is he never says that, right? He never talks about his teammates in a negative way. That's what I like about Jokic. So they asked him about Aaron Gordon. They asked him about Russell Westbrook. And he said things that I think people should hear.
What aspects of Aaron Gordon's game fly under the radar?
I mean, I think I don't want to say aspect, but the sacrifice. But he's like he's guarding the best player in their team. Probably he's switching it, and then he's fighting with it. Sometimes he's guarding a 5, so he basically guarding 1 through 5, and sacrifice that he's putting in, and he's not making a big scene of it. He's just doing his job.
So, what do you think about Aaron Gordon and basically what he brings to the team? He said he's pretty much guarding the best player every night, and I mentioned that before. I remember. I don't know if it was the playoff run they had when they actually won the ring, but they had to go through probably Anthony. Let me see who they went through the year, but I'm guessing right now, but I'm gonna look it up. But they had to go through Edwards, and I think Gordon guarded Anthony Edwards in that series phenomenally well. Then they had to go through KD and Phoenix, and he guarded KD in that series very well. Then they had to go through LeBron and Lakers, and he guarded LeBron in that series very well, all the way to the finals. And then they won it, right? And he probably guarded Jimmy Butler in the finals. I just can't remember, but it was phenomenal. And Jokic is saying he guards the best player. That's the game plan for them. The best player, I seen him guarding Steph late this season, right? So they will put him on anyone. And he said he pretty much guards 1 through 5, which is crazy because Jokic is a 5. Did y'all hear that, Jokic fanboys? Aaron Gordon guards the best player every night. He pretty much guards 1 through 5. And Jokic is a 5. So some nights they're counting on Jokic or they're counting on Aaron Gordon to guard players that Jokic should be guarding. He's guarding 1 through 5. I've seen him guard Steph. I've seen him guard LeBron. I've seen him guard Giannis. I've seen him guard KD. I've seen him guard Butler. I've seen him guard Anthony Edwards. Who are they playing right now? I'm pretty sure he's guarding Kawhi and taking his shots at James Harden at the same time. That's phenomenal. That's the same thing that people give top 50 player of all time credits to Scottie Pippen for. He's guarded Stockton. He's guarded Magic. He's guarded Penny. He's guarded Dennis Rodman. He's guarded a lot of positions as well, a lot of players. Right. So Gordon's doing a phenomenal job. And Jokic is recognizing that.
Joker, what did you make of Russell Westbrook tonight? Just offensive rebounding, defensively. You obviously trusted him with that pass over to the 3 at the end of the game.
I mean, for us, open man wins, and I think it was a general. We missed a lot of easy layups, but he made a big 3. He was really good in transition for us. He was aggressive. He had a couple offensive rebounds too. I think the big ones. So. He had a big steal on the end, so that's who he is.
Kind of piggybacking off of that one, just how big is it for his confidence just going into the rest of the series?
His confidence? Yeah. I think he has the biggest confidence probably in this matchup, whatever it is.
One more on Russ. He said he knew the Clippers' final play when they inbounded it and he tipped it off Harden. How much do you just appreciate another guy who can kind of diagnose an opponent's play like that?
Yeah, I mean, he was there and he knows. He knows. Then he played with James for a lot of years. So, he did it. But I think he was doing it for a long period of time.
Shout out to Russell Westbrook, right? They left him wide open for a 3 in the corner. He knocked it down, gave him a 1-point lead. Like the game plan was someone other than Jokic has got to beat us, and we're going to give up the corner 3 to Westbrook. We're going to dare him to shoot it. And he knocked it down. Huge shot. 3, maybe 4 huge offensive rebounds late down the stretch to keep the play alive for Denver, and most of those turned into points. That was huge. Then the huge play on defense to get the steal on the inbounds play to James Harden. He played for the Clippers last year. Russell Westbrook said he knew what play they was running to get the ball inbounds to Harden at the top of the key. And he guessed right. And almost got a steal, but got the ball knocked out off of James Harden's hand, which was a turnover. Huge play. Jamal Murray, huge defensive play on Kawhi Leonard in the corner. He did the same thing, knocked the ball out of his hand, and made it go off of Kawhi Leonard out of bounds. Huge defensive plays down the stretch. Everyone played phenomenal. Michael Porter Jr. probably wasn't playing his best game, but defensively, Gordon, Westbrook showed up. Westbrook showed up with the hustle, hit some big shots, got some rebounds. Jamal Murray played pretty good as well. I just don't see this storyline that Jokic don't have help. 25 points from Aaron Gordon. I mean, that's phenomenal, right? 25 points. Jamal Murray, 21 points. Right. You got three guys scored more than 20 points. Jokic, 29. So you got 3 guys scored more than 20 points. You got 2 other guys in double figures, and Brown with 11 and Westbrook with 15. 15 points, 8 rebounds by Westbrook. Come on, man. What's this narrative that Jokic don't have no help? I think that's insane. But let's hear from the Clippers side and what they need to do better next game to try to tie this up at 1-1.
James, you guys had the 20 turnovers. How much was that with just
That's the game.
That's the game right there.
That's the game right there. Nothing else. It's the game.
And going forward now, so the idea is take better care of the ball. And what else do you guys need to do to execute to try to get a win?
It was turnovers that was just, unforced. It's the game right there. It's nothing they did. It's us, all us.
We got to start with the turnovers. Obviously, you've never had a game with more in the playoffs. It was like when you think about how those turnovers happen, like how can you feel like you can be better with that going forward?
We just got to be decisive, get more in attack mode situations, and that's it really. A lot of the turnovers we caused, that's all you could do.
Son, right in front of the bench when Jamal was guarding you, and I guess you were trying to size him up, and it wound up being a challenge and a turnover.
He hit the ball and it hit off me and it went out.
Overtime, trying to get a win here, having a 15-point lead, 20 turnovers. What did you tell the guys after it was over?
We're in good shape. We just got to do what we're supposed to do. And we talked about we can't turn the ball over 20 times, expect to be the good team. And so 20 turnovers for 29 points. It's hard to be the good team, when you turn the ball over that many times. But we saw some things. We did some things right, some things we could have did better, which we know. And so, we just got to be better with our execution. I think defensively understanding what we're doing, and then offensively understanding how we want to attack them. And so I thought we did a good job in the first half. And then in the second half, we got away from, the attack mindset of getting to the paint, getting to the basket.
Well, there you go. 20 turnovers. That was the ball game. They all agree. So let's see if they can take care of the ball next game. And let's see if they can tie this series up.